Hey guys, me again. So I'm on Ossington Avenue here in Toronto. This particular neighborhood is one of the more popular neighborhoods for hipsters and younger people. There's a bit of a scene here, some great restaurants, and places to hang out, some bars, etc. I'm just walking through it. I wanted to give you guys a bit of just a little bit of a tour of this place. It's Wednesday night, so it's not very busy at the moment. And I'm just gonna head off to get some pizza here at one of my favorite restaurants called The Good Son. They have a half-price pizza night, which is actually a pretty good value. Most places here are a little bit on the pricey side due to the coolness factor of the neighborhood. I do remember this neighborhood 15 years ago when I was in Toronto. I remember it was very different, not like this at all. There was nowhere near as popular. It was not gentrified. There was actually a lot of strip clubs and very dodgy places, and now it's completely different. It's all very new and very hip. It's probably one of the more hip areas in Toronto, and there's not that many of them, but it's one of the most popular ones, and all along Queen Street here. I just came off Ossington. Now I'm walking on Queen Street to the restaurant, and I just wanted to give you a tour of this area. If you're thinking coming to Toronto, definitely want to visit this neighborhood, since it is one of the more popular areas to walk. It is a walking neighborhood. It is pretty safe. I would not be worried about walking here. Even in the evenings, it's all pretty safe. And as you can see, there's quite a few little restaurants and bars up along here. Typically on a Saturday or a Sunday, this place would be extremely busy, and a lot more people walking around, shopping and going to cafes and restaurants, etc. Today's Wednesday night, for some reason, it's pretty dead. I would consider this pretty dead, which is okay too. I mean, I like it quiet. We're coming up to one of my favorite places here. It's called Forno Cultura. Forno Cultura here on my right, I'm pointing at it. It's a cute little Italian, it's not quite a restaurant, but you can get sandwiches, you can get coffee, you can get bread, little pastries, etc. I often come here for a sandwich. I love their sandwiches. So if you're down here on Queen Street, come down to Forno Cultura. You will not be disappointed by the sandwiches. A little pricey. Some of them are about $18, but that's what they go for these days. Inflation's really taken a hit. So going out to eat is not as cheap as it used to be. This shop here looks like one of the old leftovers from the old days. Nobody's done anything with it. So is this one here. There's a few places that are still left over from the old days, and nobody's really done anything with it. But there's other places that have been gentrified. They've been, turned around, cleaned up. Now this place, I guess it's closed today. It's a cute little jazz bar that has live music. Here we have a barber shop. if this is for rent. Another cute little restaurant. I've been meaning to go in there, but I've just never gotten around to it. That building over there is called the Great Hall. It's an old building, and I remember about 20 years ago on that second floor there were art classes. The Toronto School of Art was there, and you can go there and for $5 you could paint and draw. Really good place. It was sold about 10 years ago, and now it's been completely gentrified. I'm not sure what's going on there. It looks pretty empty. This never used to be here. This is a new condo. And these are new restaurants. All these are new establishments. It's actually a really nice afternoon. The weather's been a little iffy, but today it's actually improved, so I'm glad about that. It's really cheered me up. Anyways, this is the Good Sun. So I'm gonna hop in here and get something to eat. So come along with me and let's see what they got. Okay, check this out. I got some lemonade. I got this pizza. It's got a bunch of stuff on it, olives and stuff. And you can see this place is starting to get a little busy. And I don't know, it looks like a wonderful meal. It's only half price. So this actually came out to like $14. Originally like $23, $14. And got the lemonade. I'm gonna chow down, and I'm gonna afterwards take you on a little bit more of a tour of this neighborhood and show you around. Okay, so stick around. Okay, so I just left the restaurant, and the pizza was actually amazing. I actually ate almost all of it, and the bill altogether with tip came out to $24. So it was actually pretty reasonable for Queen Street on a Wednesday night. It did include a drink, non-alcoholic. I had a lemonade. So yeah, overall pretty good value. So if you're down here on Queen Street, oh, this place is open. Yeah, that's the jazz bar. I guess it's still early. Yeah, it's still pretty early. It's only 7 o'clock. Things usually pick up later on, and it's only Wednesday, so things don't really pick up in Toronto till Thursday or Friday night. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, it's pretty lame, pretty slow. Nothing much happens. So now I'm just gonna give you a little tour of this neighborhood, this Queen and Ossington neighborhood that's a very popular destination here in Toronto, especially in the summer. Like I said, there are a lot of bars and restaurants and cafes, little shops. A couple of these shops are actually so popular that you will find lineups. There's one shop, it's an ice cream shop up the street. We'll walk by it, and it's actually, like, when it's open, it's usually, there's a lineup. If you can believe it. So this to my right is now CAMH, It's used to be the Queen Street Mental Health Center, and this used to be all grass, and there was just a very small hospital in the back. But now it's all been gentrified, condos, etc., and taken over by CAMH. Probably for the better. I mean, real estate in Toronto has become quite a premium. It seems that any spare little spot gets taken up and a condo gets immediately put up. It's a very fast-growing city. It's a very expensive city. It's not a cheap city, I have to say. I believe it's almost on par to New York City. I mean, in New York City you can get much higher rents, but Toronto is not cheap. Cost of living in Toronto is pretty high. And I have to say that, oh, this is cute. I gotta get away quick. I don't want to get a copyright strike on whatever music that is. Yeah, one of the nice things about this neighborhood, because it's very hipster, you do get a lot of fresh artistic things going on, like these murals. You can see this mural here. So it's one of the advertising strategies of getting attention is putting up murals in some of these neighborhoods, getting people's attentions. There's these cute little shops, sort of like a concept store. Personally, not my favorite. I find the colors pretty plain, but I'm sure they do pretty well. It's a nice colorful door. Fuse. So there are still some older restaurants here, like this Vietnamese restaurant has been around since the early days, when a lot of this neighborhood was primarily Vietnamese. Like I said, 15 years ago, if you were to come here, you wouldn't find anything like this. Like I said, you find strip joints. A lot of them were run by, I would think, Vietnamese gangs. And very quickly, what happened is, as rental prices on Queen Street started getting higher and higher, people started leaving. Stores started leaving, restaurants started leaving, and they started looking for a new spot. And this area here, because it wasn't very popular and it was kind of dicey, had very cheap rents. So very quickly, the popular businesses on Queen Street started moving here to Ossington and taking over these places. Oh, so this is the ice cream shop. I would actually get an ice cream, but after having that pizza, it would be a good idea. So, as you can see, this used to be a grocery store. Now it's empty. It was kind of a hipster grocery store. I guess they couldn't cut it. Some cool furniture stores. A nice little cafe here called Pilot. They're closed. Sadly, they close at 5, which is kind of, I don't know. A lot of places here close early. I don't get it. Walking up the street. Some nice clothing stores. There's a t-shirt with Frida Kahlo on it. Pastry shops. So these outdoor little patios are, like you see here, are leftover from the COVID era when people were dining outside, and some of these restaurants have demanded that they keep them because obviously they're, you know, they have a bigger footprint now. They can seat more people. It's not my favorite thing, but I can understand restaurants wanting to have that option. Just across the street. So this cafe here in front of me called Ideal Coffee was one of the first cheap cafes on this strip 10 years ago. It was one of the first ones to open up here, and it was usually empty, derelict, cheap coffee, and it's still there. It's a real testament to the to this neighborhood. This used to be a hardware store, not anymore. And these little places up here were all little Portuguese shops. Now they're little places to eat, sushi restaurants. This is a cool record shop for vinyl. Yep. Poster shop. Looks like a weed shop. Hair shop. A little bar. Another bar. A lot of little bars. A lot of the places here are mostly like bars that offer like snacks, like tapas, things like that. There's not a lot of places here that you can come and have a full dining experience. It's mostly little snacks, little plates on the side. What's this? Painted Lady. I guess it's a bar. It's a cute little bar, old school bar. Still early. Not a lot of people. I can't believe this place. This looks nice.
Do this shit on. Yeah.
I haven't been here. I will definitely come here one day. It looks like a cute little spot. There used to be a Portuguese. Butcher shop or something here, fish store. But now it looks like a cute little restaurant. Yeah, very cute restaurant. This is a falafel house. Oh, it's part of the same restaurant. It's part of the same restaurant. I guess you can get falafels there. It's another cute little bar here. It's a barber shop. So it's quite a little community. Again, 10 years ago, this was all derelict. That's a bead place is still around. Oh my God. I remember going in there a long time ago, over 20 years ago, with a friend. Dollar store used to be over there. And there was a few Portuguese pastry shops here. They're probably gone. Again, there's a few left over. There's a few things left over, like this place. You know, this place looks pretty old. Who knows what the situation is? Some clothing stores. Yeah. It's a neat little community now. It's a very neat little community. A nice place to live. It's got a well-balanced neighborhood. You know, if I was looking to move to a neighborhood, I would think this neighborhood would be definitely top on my list, just because of its youthful atmosphere. Oh, more condos are going up. Makes sense. I'm sure they'll fill them up quick. These condos go up quick. And, another little bar. Very cool. Oh, here it is. This place called Dance is one of the few leftover Portuguese pastry shops where you can buy cheap pastries. Oh, and this place, Kim's. This is an old Portuguese shop, still around. And they have their little religious icons, as you can see. Very cool. Well, I think I'm going to cut it. This is most of it. Again, if you're in Toronto, I think it's worthwhile coming here. Spend half a day or so walking around, and maybe an evening, bring a friend, go to one of these dining spots and hang around, maybe on the patio, and enjoy the street life. It's a really good place to people watch. Yeah, there's another Portuguese pastry shop, Nova Era. Again, one of the last remaining places, as most of the Portuguese community in this neighborhood has either left, or you know, some of the older Portuguese members have probably passed now, and the homes being left to their kids, I'm sure they probably sold them because the property prices here are extremely high. Something you could have bought for $600,000 maybe 10 years ago now is maybe 1.5 million, maybe 2 million, depending on the condition. So I'm sure they would have sold them. So I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know what you think of the neighborhood. Let me know if you have any questions. I'd be glad to answer. And if there's any other neighborhood in Toronto that you want to visit or want me to take you to, mention it down in the comments. I'd appreciate any feedback, like, subscribe, etc. I'm trying to get to my target of 1,000 subscribers. A modest target. Hopefully, as I start putting out more videos, I'll be able to achieve that. But for now, that's where it's at. So have a great time. And I'm just gonna walk through here a little bit and just let the film run a little bit, just to give you a feel of the neighborhood again.
Probably, right? At least I got the way for it to dry out.
Oh my god. Yeah. Because yesterday, what was it, 3 and a bit?
Do you know how to drive?
No.
Yep.
It's so funny, like
Blessing in the code.
Canadians just like, not everyone, but most Canadians just like learn how to drive when they're 16.
Well,
Supportive incident.
Not just like Italian cuts, this Spire type cuts. So, my contact.
So we're going into the meat formula. Yeah. Got the ring?
Yeah.